Hey again. So here I am. Well, earlier today I had the impromptu decision to make a video on Facebook, and I happened to like the format of just letting my organism spout out words. So I am making a YouTube channel. Those of you who are on the YouTube channel seeing this video for the first time, it's probably obvious to you that's the YouTube channel. But those of you on Facebook, where I'm also posting this, I'm gonna leave a link to the YouTube channel. So I figured why not do another video? This channel is gonna be my usual shtick. It's gonna be, the philosophy, the mysticism, the psychedelic stuff, and just talking about basic paradoxes and stuff I've come up to over the years in my development that I feel like I personally worked through, and I would never claim to have any universal truths. In fact, I don't know anything beyond this room, and I don't even know this room. Hell, I don't even know myself. Not in the typical sense. I don't understand myself intellectually. I know myself like I know the feeling of warmth when it touches my palm. Okay, so what is this video going to be about? Let's see. Let's see what comes up. It is going to be about the essence of suffering. And there's a big theological question that has been hanging around for years. And of course, theology is the study of the deity, it's the study of the divine, it's the study of scripture. And the question is, how could a loving God create a world with so much suffering? And I want to say that this question is bullshit. I'm going to flip it on my head, or its head rather. I'm going to say, how could a loving God create a world without suffering? I'm going to explain to you why. Suffering is the actual mode through which we can ever grow. It's the only mode that produces real growth. And the reason is that we suffer because for most of our lives, we are not in our authentic self. We are in a construction of lies which we have told ourselves repeatedly about how good we are, how bad that is, how we should do this, how we shouldn't do that, and goes on and on and on. For example, in an intimate relationship, if my partner lies to me about something and I'm outraged, and I go and I sit with that feeling of outrage and I say, why am I outraged? What is this anger? You know what I'm going to discover? I'm going to discover that I am a liar. I manipulate. And that's why I'm mad at my partner. Because I see in her a tendency in myself which I have been neglecting and too cowardly to face. And once we face our demons, I shouldn't call them demons because the only way to face them is with love. You accept them, you say, this is part of me. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to be upset. And when you accept them completely, It's as if you become a vacuum and you suck it up and it disappears. The habit disappears. It doesn't come up as frequently. And the reason is it was just a split off part of your whole authentic being, and you were projecting it on the world. And that's the manner through which we grow is pain. Pain produces real growth. Carl Jung, one of my personal favorite thinkers, or philosopher, mystic, psychologist, said that anything that bothers us about others can tell us something about ourselves. And he also said that anything in the self which is denied appears in the world as an event. I'm going to repeat that. Anything in the self which is denied appears in the world as an event. What does that mean? It means that if there's part of myself I'm not looking at, and I don't look at it for long enough, all of a sudden an event that represents or mirrors that part of myself will start happening, and it will keep happening until I finally get the balls, excuse my language, to accept that that's me. I'm responsible for it. And we have to accept that we are the scoundrel. Nobody has ever made us angry. Nobody has ever made us sad. We created the reaction in our mind of sadness. We created the story that made us miserable. And that's the way out. That's the way out of suffering. And it's full responsibility. Not blaming anybody, not having any enemies. And when you see that, which is painful, I'm talking taking full responsibility. Responsibility for the fact that you are in the process of destroying the planet. No, not a system. There is no system. You, the one who is complicit with this pattern behavior, is the one who is destroying the species, destroying hundreds of other species. Can you swallow that? You are responsible for your anger, your sadness, it all. You created the relationships that you got attached to. They're ideas in your head. You created the sadness, the anger, because you're too full of pride to admit that you just care. And why don't we want to admit that we care? Because we don't want to live in a universe where we care, because that means we live in a meaningful universe, and that means we have a responsibility which is larger than ourselves, larger than any society. And that's the truth. So I would say, how can a loving God not create a world that suffers? Because without suffering, we would not have growth. We would not be able to get to a point where we could look back on all the years of suffering. There would not be the contrast and say, wow. And when we see the difference, out of that difference, we get the sense of intense meaning. Intense meaning. Just by doing whatever we're doing. Because we see that our whole life led us to the point where we are blessed enough to find our heart again. And now we have a whole new adventure ahead. We found our heart, and instead of being driven by desire, we are now driven by a naked urge to free all beings from illusion. And that's why I called my YouTube channel The Elephant Roars Gently. And actually, my book is called Elephant Tusk. It has a subtitle, but it's all convoluted, so I won't say it. The elephant to me is a symbol, at least in my personal experience, I'm not speaking universally, has become a symbol to me of our potential to become giants, to become gods, to instead of being controlled by that which has happened to us, to create from now a future which is born out of loving vision, free of illusion, and free of unnecessary suffering. And I vow to all of you that there will be many different ways, as long as my heart keeps beating, that will attempt this. And the truth is, I can't save anybody, and I'm not claiming that I've saved myself. And I don't want you to believe anything I've said. But those who do save themselves can help create the conditions for others to save themselves, but they cannot directly do it. It happens as a result of being a cosmic mirror. And you look in my eyes, tell me who you see. Because all I am to you is an image on a screen.